Welcome back everybody to another episode of Mods to Ride. Today we're going to be working again on the Trackhawk. As you can see, I am going to finally clean out all of this. I'm going to clean the wheel wells, I'm going to clean all the yellow parts, basically everything. I already have some things kind of set up for you guys. I have my little Mychanic tool cart. My Mychanic little cart with the buckets. This one I only use for cleaning wheels and cleaning the calipers. I already did a spray down of the vehicle. Every time that I work on either washing my cars or the wheels or anything, one thing that I always do is I make sure that I always pressure wash the floor to make sure I have all the dirt, everything moved out of the way, no rocks, no dirt. But this the Trackhawk has been sitting here for about almost 2 months, going for 2 months, and unfortunately I did get some like industrial fallout or overspray. We are in an industrial area, so I'm gonna show you guys later how I take care of my paint, but for now I'm gonna focus on how I clean all these hard to get areas. What tools do I use? I'm gonna show you guys my setup. This is my setup right here. It's an electric pressure washer. Even though we have that pressure washer here, I never use that much PSI on a car, and I know this from experience. You could chip out paint really fast. So I use this. This is all you need. About 1500 cc or 1500 psi. This one happens to be 2000 psi, but nothing more than that. You don't really need anything more than that. As you can see here, I also have my foam cannon, and I'm going to show you guys the product that I use on the paint. This thing works really amazing, and I use that kind of like as a sacrificial layer, I guess you can say. If you have like ceramic coatings and other things. And then I always wear gloves because we're gonna be working with degreasers. You always wanna wear gloves because this stuff tends to dry your skin. So like I mentioned earlier, I already did like an initial spray of the truck. I was listening to some jams. I can't listen to them right now because I'll get copyrighted. So I'm gonna show you guys how I get started on all this. In my bucket, I already have a solution of water and a little bit of purple degreaser. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link all the products in the description for you guys. So in case you don't have any of these tools, you guys slowly start buying your arsenal. When I have a bunch of tools. I didn't buy them right away. I bought them little by little. But before, I used to have a detailing business. That's why I'm really good at, maintaining my cars. And yes, I do personally wash my Trackhawk and my other cars, right? I have an Escalade and Humvee and other things, right? But I do hand wash them, and I'll show you guys later the process that I use to prevent, I guess you could say, the most scratches or the least scratches possible. And then later I guess I'll go into detail about how I clean the interior and all that, if that's something that you guys like to see. So if these are things that you guys like to see, make sure that you guys comment or tell me, hey, I want you to make a video on this or that. I might not know a whole lot of everything, but the stuff that I do know, the knowledge that I do know, I'll pass it down to you guys. Okay, so in my snow foam, this is gonna be my last process. In here, I'm just gonna apply the snow foam, and then I'm gonna take it off with the pressure washer. Like I said, I had already taken off, I guess you could say, most of the dirt. There's still stuff on here, but I did take off most of the dust and everything. So you always wanna spray everything down as much as you can. Try to knock down as much dirt as you can. So if you think about dirt or sand, it's fine little rocks. So it doesn't matter how much you prevent or how many steps or how many buckets you use on a car wash, it doesn't matter how many you use, because there's still going to be rocks and stuff or like sand that are stuck in these little things, and there's no way that you can prevent a 100% scratch-free wash. That doesn't exist, because even though you didn't, think about this, even though you don't necessarily pick up the sand, a particle of sand, if you look at it in a microscope, basically it's a little fine rock. When you pressure wash it, that rock is going to be moving along your paint, and it's going to be causing micro scratches. So there's no, of course there's things that you can prevent, like for example 2-bucket method or whatever, to prevent scratches, but there's no such thing as 100% scratch-free car wash. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. It doesn't matter like whatever companies out, doesn't matter. Another thing is that obviously I'm gonna put these products in the description. This is not a paid, I guess you could say like a paid video by these companies. This is the things that I use on a daily basis, and these are the things that work for me. So like I mentioned before, whenever I first start, I always pressure wash everything beforehand, especially when you're gonna be applying any type of degreaser or like acid degreaser or whatever. You never apply it dry, or if the motor's wet, if the motor's hot, you never apply, you don't even wet it with water, because it'll start, the aluminum will start forming, I guess like different I guess discoloration and stuff like that. So now that this is wet, I can go ahead and apply my degreaser solution. So when applying this, you want to be liberal. Make sure you apply it really well to the caliper, back here to the Bilstein strut. I have this kit that came with 3 little brushes from ADN, and these work really well. These work really well for when I wash the wheels. For those very hard spots to get, this works really well for the wheels. But I'm not going to be really using these today. However, what I am going to be using are these brushes. And these things are awesome, because these things, let me show you guys, they can get into hard to reach areas that typically you can't, even on your wheels. So with this, you hit it, you want to agitate all the brake dust, all the road grime. And since this caliper is huge, there are some spots where it can be very hard to get to. So I agitated the caliper, and you never want to let this stuff dry. If you let this stuff dry, forget it. It'll be like you have to redo it again. And you always have your water handy. Another tip that I'll give you guys is, if you guys have this brush really dirty, so you don't have to be changing out your water or your bucket that frequently, is hit it with this, and then it'll knock down all the dirty grease that you have on there. I wanted to show you guys that the Trackhawk, even though it looks pretty simple on the outside, kind of like just like a regular Jeep, it does have a lot of technology integrated into it. It does have the 6-piston caliper in the front, 4 in the back, but the aerodynamics of this truck and the SRT, it has a scoop to cool the brakes. I'll show you guys. You see that? This is designed to cool the brakes. And I forgot to show it to you guys in the last video when I was installing the suspension parts, but look at that. Alright folks, we're done with the wheel well cleaning. The calipers and all the other corresponding parts are super nice and clean. Once I'm done cleaning everything, I'm also going to apply the same chemical that I apply on the paint on the calipers. The only thing left for me to do is to do the foam cannon. Relax and enjoy the show. Alright, she's already all dried up. Now I'm gonna add this chemical that I use. Yes, I know it's not this right here. It's actually P&S Beadmaker. And the way you apply this is you apply it very liberal the first time, because on their, I guess, application guide, there has to be so many parts per million that have to be on there in order for it to do the effects that it claims to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray this, right? I'm gonna spray it and then I'm gonna wipe it down, and then it's also a gloss enhancing. So once it starts, like, I guess, curing, the gloss starts to intensify a lot. And then next time that, let's say, it rains or whatever, the water just beads off. And it's a really crazy product. If you guys haven't tried that product, I highly recommend it. And it smells delicious. It smells like mango. So without any further ado, let's get to it. We're all done, guys. Look at how much the gloss magnifies with the bead maker. guys, job done. As you can see, if you guys have been liking the content so far, make sure you give it a like. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I appreciate your viewership. If you guys like videos like this about detailing, about me explaining how I do certain things, please make sure to comment on the bottom. Or if you want to see any other type of video, make sure you comment that on the bottom so I could do that. Thank you guys. Peace.